My name is Judah, son of Jacob. The reason I called this press conference is to make an announcement. I won't be taking any questions from reporters because I have been really upset by this incident. I'm sad to report another death in my family. Onan, my second son, has died. In keeping with Hebrew tradition, he will be buried the same day as his death. After the funeral this afternoon, everyone in Adullam is invited to our house to mourn the death with us. That's all I have.
Judah, is it true that your son Onan was struck dead by God himself?
I told you, I'm not taking any questions.
But I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone in the land of Canaan to misconstrue the facts.
I suppose. Very well. I assumed that all the Hebrews in the area would be affected by this death. But it's obvious from the turnout at this press conference that Gentiles might be affected as well.
So, it is true. Was Onan struck dead by God?
Yes. It's true.
And this was not the first of your sons to be struck dead by God. Was it?
No. My firstborn son, whose name was was struck dead by God a few weeks ago.
Can you tell us the circumstances surrounding his death?
Violated virtually everything the Lord our God holds dear. He was an unredeemable sinner. If God had let him live, people, especially the unbelievers, would have thought that God approved of bad behavior. Our people and our God are new to this land of Canaan. We must set a good example.
And your second son Onan?
Well, that's a little more difficult to explain.
We have reports that Onan's death had to do with sex.
That's only partially true. When my son was struck down, Hebrew tradition calls for the second son to marry the widow. It's called levirate marriage.
Are you saying that Onan was struck down because he refused to take Er's wife?
Well, Onan took Er's wife. But our tradition requires him to make babies with her.
Are you saying Onan was struck down because he was infertile?
Not at all. The problem was that Onan was already married. The levirate marriage gave him a second wife. And any children he produced from the levirate marriage would inherit Onan's property, but the children must be given the family name of Onan's dead brother.
Are you saying that Onan was killed because he didn't want to share his property with children who bore someone else's name?
That's what I'm saying.
That seems a little harsh.
We have reports that the real reason for this death penalty was that Onan spilled his semen on the ground.
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Is it against your religion for men to spill their semen?
Let me put it this way, it was a sin for Onan to spill his semen on the ground.
Does that mean masturbation is against your religion?
Masturbation is not even mentioned by God or the prophets. The reason it was a sin for Onan to spill his semen was because he was shirking his duty to make babies with Er's widow under levirate law.
Yes, but the death penalty.
Judah, I think I speak for everyone in the land of Canaan when I say that we all fear for our lives because God struck down Onan. Could this happen to us too?
This was a unique circumstance. I'm not sure the death penalty will ever be administered like this again.
How is this a unique circumstance?
Well, it's a little complicated. That's kind of why I didn't want to take any questions.
Judah, my readers won't sleep well until they know for sure why Onan was struck dead.
Alright. Back in the Garden of Eden, God promised that the devil's head would ultimately be crushed.
We know about that promise.
Even us Gentiles have been waiting for the fulfillment of that promise. Are you saying that this incident has something to do with that promise?
Yes. As a prophet of God, I now know that God will become a man in the future and the family God will choose to live with will be born to my descendants. Was to be in the line of the Messiah until his sins disqualified him.
That explains why was put to death.
Exactly. God's chosen family must be good examples to the world. But after was struck down, Onan was the chosen one to continue the line of our Redeemer.
So, it really was not the spilling of the semen that got him killed.
Onan's sin was ruining the family connection to God's chosen family.
Exactly.
My readers will be relieved to know that.
Mine too. Judah, doesn't this family connection to God put a lot of pressure on you and your descendants?
Let's just say that this death sentence should be a wake-up call to us to take God's promise seriously.
Based on a play by Bob Snook. Conditions for use. Do not sell any part of this script, even if you rewrite it. Pay no royalties, even if you make money from performances.
Based on a play by Bob Snook. Conditions for use. Do not sell any part of this script, even if you rewrite it. Pay no royalties, even if you make money from performances.